Representative Johnson, House Bill 2401. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 2401 is a revision of the City of Clarksville Charter.
Further explanation. Do we have a motion on the bill? We have a motion. Do we have a second? Properly seconded. Discussion. Chairman Todd.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I think if you, and Representative Johnson, you've looked at what they have in their charter now, and there's some questionable things that they have done in their charter, and they've asked you to bring the bill up here, and before, like everybody else, has had to bring our resolutions up here, and this has nothing to do with you, sir, but if you look at their charter, it appears that you're changing the veto override from a simple majority of 2/3, and we're trying to find out why. And I know you're not going to can't answer those questions, maybe because nobody from the city is here. You're
recognized.
Chairman Todd, Sally and I have worked many hours on this, and I would defer to Sally if you have any input, Sally.
We'll hear from you.
Well, let me get through the other questions here that I have, and then I'll defer to Sally. It appears in your charter that the mayor can vote whether he or she wishes, and I think that's the question that needs to be asked. It also appears that should there be a veto, the mayor would be able to vote to make up to 2/3 majority. Also, in Article 2:16, dealing with removal of public officials from public office, this is contrary to state law in regards to their charter. It appears in this chart the mayor is the head of the city government. The mayor presides over the council meeting, has a voice and a vote on any matter before the council, and the mayor also can veto it after he votes on it. He can then do a veto override after he votes on it. That's in their charter. This apparently violates the separation of the power of doctrine in state law. So they got some serious, serious problems in Clarksville, Tennessee, members. And it needs to be corrected, and this bill gives them even more power to change their charter up there. It's not right. The citizens are not being represented like they should under the state constitution, in my opinion, and I'll defer to our legal.
Ms. Swain, you're recognized.
And the question is to me?
Is there clear violations of the Constitution?
You know.
Well, there's some interesting questions that are raised, and I really wish I knew the answers on a couple of them. I really do. I've been able to, I was in discussion with him, and we honestly, for example, as members of the General Assembly, the Constitution only allows the General Assembly to override a veto by a majority. And the question is, can we defer, can we give a city or a county authority we don't even have? And so that's a very good question. I cannot answer it, but that is what is in their charter on that one. The issues that he raised about the mayor being able to, he's the head of everything in this charter, and yet can also vote on all the issues. It's another interesting question. Is that something that the General Assembly ought to be allowing the cities to do? And then be allowed to vote to override a veto that he did. So, I mean, there's some really excellent questions here, and I don't know the answers. I wish I did.
Chairman Todd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to make a motion to move this to the study committee at Representative West House in 2010.
Do we have a motion? It is properly seconded. Discussion. Chairman Miller.
Representative Johnson, was this voted on by your local government, a legislative body, as well as the mayor? Did they sign off on this?
Yes, they did.
So the legislative body was willing to give up its own authority
By a two-thirds vote.
and to give that to the mayor, even by a two-thirds vote? They were willing to do that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, they did. They were.
That'd be interesting. I would have wanted to be at that meeting. See how.
We have a motion.
Let me amend my motion that this bill moved to July 2010.
We have properly seconded. We have a motion properly seconded to move this bill to a study committee at Chairman West's swimming pool, July 2010. You're recognized, Representative, before we vote.
Chairman Todd, could we move this to next year's calendar?
I will defer and ask that we reconsider our actions and move this to 2010, hoping that Clarksville's city government gets the message.
We don't have to reconsider our actions, Chairman Todd. We have not you're just revising your motion that we roll this till the first calendar of 2010. Without objection, your bill's rolled to 2010.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee.